Okay. Because I'm on my live on my YouTube and then I'm live on my Substack. So, as just mentioned, thank you for tuning in with me. I know it's pretty late for some, but ain't too much going on out there. So thank you for being present with me. Um, it's just been a lot going on. So I take the time as I can to do what I can when I can. And sometimes there's really no set scheduling for when you can create, because creative energy, it comes and it goes and you catch that wave, and that's just that. But today, I wanted to be intentional for my reason for me wanting to go live. And as I did just mention, like, I didn't do a Substack article today like I normally would on Tuesdays, and they would either drop on a Tuesday or the following day, which is Wednesday. Um, but I hope you guys are doing well as y'all can be out there. I just know like it's a lot going on energetically, and I just been really doing my best to make sure that I stay present, but also make sure that I'm taking care of myself, make sure that I'm regulating my nervous system, because it's just really been a lot of highs and lows with the energy of things lately. And of course, I'm going to just share briefly about, becoming Ebony. Yes, so if you aren't aware, your girl is a published author now, and go get the book. If you curious and you interested and you want to know whose I am and all that jazz, this will give you a nice chunk of fragments of my journey. But you, of course, will have to stay and be present with me, because this was just me getting the journey out. I'm very much a different being since I've, wrote and published this book. And I'm just grateful to continue to just be authentically me and be myself. Um, no place, no other person who I would rather be than who the divine creator created me to be. And I know I had like a little spicy title or whatever. It might seem spicy to some people, but me just knowing that it was gonna be an eye catcher, and I'm gonna share a little bit of light on that. But most importantly, I'm just sharing, staying focused on why I chose to go live today. So if you have not gotten the book, I will share a fragment of the book with you and my reason for me going live. So today is February 17th, 2026. This is a very intentional day for me. I had a lot of different emotions today because for those that don't know and still go get the book, um, today is actually my very first child's 18th birthday. Yes, I I sent two children back to the creator. And a lot of people may think that, I just, the one child just passed away, which was most recently 5 years ago. It'll be 5 years in March coming up. But my very first child, that would have been 18 years old today, passed away. Um, I can't quite tap in on the dates, but he was born February 17th, 2007, I want to say. I was younger, I was a teenager, and that was basically how the journey started. And I'm here to be transparent. I'm here to speak for those that don't have a voice, as well as, those who are just trying to be in a better space and understand those parts and griefs of them that, you know, they probably don't understand, like I once went through myself. That was where the heartbreak initially started, within myself. Um, I I wanted that baby so badly. Like I feel like, what they say, the popular word manifest. Like I manifested that baby because like it was nothing but young girls around me having babies, y'all. And I thought in my mindset at that time, like that was something that I needed to do for me to feel fulfilled. And I went through a lot, you know, with that baby, and just my whole life just started to, take a turn. I was young, of course. Um, Jontez and this baby, which the baby's name is Johnny. They were, I believe, what, 2.5 years apart. But that was my first baby. And as you can see, this is the baby that's in the incubator, you know, on the screen. So yeah, today has just really been like me reflecting like I normally do on any other day, especially now with this new moon and Aquarius season and this solar eclipse that we are experiencing right now. Like it's just really been intensified for me to like continue to know like how did I get here? Like and look up and know like a lot of this it really came with the journey. Um I had little Johnny at like at 23 and a half weeks, which is like 5 months, I believe. 5.5 months. I mean, like the baby wasn't even fully developed yet. Like I watched that baby grow in the incubator cube from having no nipples and no eyebrows and everything. Like I literally watched my baby grow in the incubator. So it's like you can't tell me that the Most High God, the Creator, is just full of, like just things that our mind cannot fathom. Like the womb is the portal and where we are, as women set to birth and create things. But, outside of that, there are other tools and resources that have been placed on this God's sacred earth, for things to still be curated and be created. And you can call it science, you can call it whatever you choose to call it, but it's just real. And I am a living walking testimony and being a witness to see like these things happen in my life. I had him at 5.5 months, of course, and he lived all the way up to his full term, which the babies are normally baking in the oven for about 9 months. So it was tragic, very tragic, for me to experience that. But I know I'm not alone with that. And like I said, that was the very first part outside of my parents and everything of my journey. And a lot of people don't know that. Like, yes, two boys, you know, and I know that they are very much still here with me, but they've made very much impressionable marks on my soul, on my inner being. I like to say that they were my messengers. Like I birthed angels. I say that now, but I can honestly say when I was going through all of that, I felt like I was cursed. I really did. I didn't understand. Nobody around me, no adult, no grandmother, no mother, nobody could really explain to me what I had experienced in the pain. And I'm going to try to keep the focus on me, but as well, it's always about y'all too, about those ones who have experienced these things. And just like myself, like I kind of had to sweep that incident under the rug because there was no support, and people just felt like, oh, it just happened to me. And I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, it was my choice to be a teenage mother, but looking at history and things of that nature, these things were normal, So, and that really caused me to kind of go down like a path that I never even imagined that I would be going down. But I'm grateful that I did go down that path. Like I have no regrets about it. Like it really taught me true purpose and meaning in life. Like even now to this very day. And I'm getting emotional because I just knew, like, with everything that's going on right now, I feel like all of this is just so intentional. Healing for the feminine lineage, not just my own, but other women, no matter what race, culture, or ethnicity you're in. You know, um, Losing children seems to be like a normal thing in this world and society. And it gets deep, y'all. Like, when y'all don't see me, I am being poured into by the divine creator with downloads and spiritual, just going through a real deep depth of initiation, like just switching my whole paradigm shift because I'm not who I once was. And I speak with authority and I speak with grace and mercy like this because I really truly believe in the healing powers of the universe. I really truly believe that we are going through a great significant change, not just the females, because, you know, I believe and I know that we have masculine and feminine energy within all of us. Sometimes one or the other is more predominant than the other. But, you even got men out here who lack that type of empathy and sympathy and compassion for themselves, let alone another woman, because of their relationships with women. And I'm gonna do my best to, stay focused, but it's just so much things that I can deeply dive into, not just internally, but externally, and but yeah, like today is my very first child's 18th heavenly birthday. And let alone, I just celebrated John Tez's 16th birthday. So for me, Aquarius season, the month of February it's just always been a very emotional wave of just an influx of whatever that is being given to me. And I'm learning more and more as time goes on to really just take it. It's been a lot of trials and triumphs, and it's been a lot of victories too. And I take them both as they come. And I'm so grateful for that. It's like a sacred balance for me. But I remember though, like due to me dealing with the passing of Jontez, that made me really come to that awakening about my first child. Even though I was a teenager when that happened and occurred, I was not allowed to heal from that. I was not allowed to, and yes, I'm saying not allowed because I didn't know, and that's when I acted out. That's when I, started to be rebellious, I guess, if, a guardian or whatever would say that, but I pretty much have been out here raised by the divine creator, the most high God, mother and father. And I'm not ashamed to say that. Like, this is a very well good product of what the divine creator can do, when you are directly connected to source. And I still have earthly parents here on this earth, but I'm so grateful for my relationship with God, for me to know, like, I have not been doing this alone. No matter who has came across my path, and left my path, I have always been divinely guided and supported. And for me to be awakened to that and really know that, that's why I stay present. That's why I have moments of reflection, because it's like, wow, like, these things really have happened to me. And I am really coming out on the other side of it. I have really came out on the other side of it. And I'm truly very grateful for that. Today, it just lets me know, like, I've always held my first child in my heart. And I always knew that that felt unfair, but the reasons that whatever it may have been for it to happen, it brought me closer to the divine creator. It brought me closer to be who I am today. It brought me closer to like having some type of hope that none of this was in vain. And I carried that baby in my spirit, in my body, and that's why it's like, I get that they having this whole abortion thing, about women's body and control and stuff. And it's deep, y'all. And if y'all want to have a whole conversation with me about that, I'm going to need y'all to comment live in the chats for me. And if y'all want to know my insight about it, please let me know. I will share, because I done been on both ends of the spectrum when it comes to this giving life and taking life, and feeling like you have no choice because you don't understand and know that you do have choice. Like, isn't that why we have faith? Isn't that part of the reason why we, say that we love and believe in God and God gives us free will? Absolutely. But that free will also comes with consequences, good, bad, or indifferent. However you choose to look upon those things. But yeah, I'm gonna share something with y'all. Give me 1 second. So I got my boys, they always with me. Like, I have a whole, just like mantelpiece with Jontez's ashes, and I actually buried my first child. So I just significantly felt like it's only right that I would, cremate Jontez, and since I buried my very first one. But here's the picture of me. I'm showing YouTube right now, y'all, of my very first baby. And as you can see, he grew fully from being born at 5.5 months. Yeah. That's me and that's him. And when I say I was young dealing with that incident, and it wasn't nobody but me and the child's father, and we both were young dealing with that, going to the NICU, going to school, going to make sure, like that we understood what the doctors and nurses and the social workers and stuff were like just telling us. Like, as I'm talking to y'all right now, all of that stuff is just reflecting back into my mind. It was tough. It was tough. Like, I didn't even have the support of my parents. Like, by them still like me being a minor, they were my overseers, like my father was at the time. And like, the most craziest thing a lot of people said to me when that baby passed on was like, now you get to live your life. Now you get to, and it's just like, who the F are y'all to tell me something like that? But as I grew older into the woman that I am today, I really understood that whether people, these, weren't like just ill and malicious intentions, or even if they was, this was just people speaking from their own experience and hurt and pain and reflecting and projecting that off on me. And I carried that. But it hurted still. Like, as I hold back tears now, like, to be told that, and I really, really wanted and desired to have that baby because I felt like there was no real love outside of me, and that I felt like that baby could give me that love. Oh, yes, that was me. I'm being full transparent because that's what was going on around me. That's all that I saw. But of course, the divine creator used me as an example, as always, to be able to be here and walk this journey. Like, it didn't turn out to be like how I thought it was going to be, like everybody else's. Them having their babies, they was going to school, being mommies and everything. No, mine was completely different. I had to go through the trials and tribulations of giving birth to a premature baby and going through just all type of nervous system, destruction, because not only just because of, my environment, but knowing like, was my baby going to live or die at any moment? And, like, dealing with that young, like, that was devastating. That was devastating for real. And that's why, like I said, I carried that baby in my spirit. I carried that baby in my heart. And in some ways, I honestly felt like he came back to me as Jontez. Like, it's deep. Y'all gotta go get the book. If y'all really want to know who I am who I says I am. I am who I am. Like, and this has really been like, this is just like, I have no words honestly to say right now, because just because of the deep depth of emotions that I'm feeling right now as I share this part of me that I've never shared with anybody. Like, for me to grieve one child and then come to the remembrance of I never grieved from the first child. That was heavy. It was heavy. But I'm really here in that space of knowing that my faith is not in vain. And the more that I continue on this journey and honor my boys and, help humanity raise their vibration and consciousness, it has just really truly been nothing but source guiding me, walking me, talking me through all this pain, tragedy, and trauma for real. There was good times too. When I was in the NICU, being with the baby and just learning things that I never thought that I would have to learn. I created this journal and I'm going to share it a little bit. But like I said, I need y'all to go get that book. It's out on Amazon right now. If you really want to get to know who I am and my journey could be possibly a part of your journey. It's not just about the loss of children. There's more to it, But I had created this book, and I'm going to share a little bit with y'all because this is just genuinely who I've always been. I've always been a very creative young lady, and like that's why sometimes, a lot of times, I really feel like the things that I've gone through and I've endured, these have been lessons and blessings for me to learn and master so I can be able to help and teach somebody else who could potentially go through the same similar things, or so they won't. But the baby's name was Johnny D'Antello Hall III. He was born February 17th in 08. Yeah, 08. I thought I'd probably say 07, but 08. He was 1 pound and 5 ounces and 31 centimeters and 12 inches long. I mean, talk about a little bitty old baby. He had length to him, though. That was probably because of his pops, that, heritage stuff. But that was my first baby, y'all. And for me to sit up here and say, like, happy heavenly birthday. Happily heavenly 18th birthday. Sometimes it still feels unreal. It still feels unreal. And I'm 35, by the way. Yeah. So don't ever let nobody sit up there and try to tell you that you have to be a certain age for wisdom and things to come to you. No. The Creator uses us all. We are all spiritual beings having this physical experience. And unfortunately, this is how mine have been. But I'm a living proof that you can heal and that you can overcome any adversity. I would write in this journal. These is his first little footprints. Look how small that is. Like, they really allowed me to, like, make these memories as if they, knew, like, it was a possibility. And the faith that I had at that time, I just never wanted to believe, like, something like that would happen to me. But it did. And it not only happened once, it happened twice. And I'm the type of person like this. I don't look at death as, you know, how the circumstances or the tragedy was. No, losing a life is losing a life. I don't care how it happened or what. There's no greater pain than the other. And it's so unworldly to me. It's diabolical to me how some people, like I used to be a little bit ashamed to even share my story of pain with people because people are always trying to one up somebody or measure somebody else's pain. And it's like, is this the world that we live in? Pain is pain. And this is why I'm walking in this journey and speaking the way that I do and supporting in the way that I best know that how I can, because I'm tired of seeing it. Even the ones that's trying to glamour it up so good. I see it. I see right through it. I don't judge. I just give what's unconditionally, like Source gives to me, that unconditional love. But I digressed a little bit right there. But it's just genuinely who I am for real. And for me to be sitting up here and being transparent and sharing this journey with y'all, it ain't just all about the book. It's about me speaking these truths, because I know I'm not the only one who are going through these things or experiencing this. I've been in spiritual warfare since I came out the womb. We all have. And it may be because of the purpose. But I know I'm not going to let up. And I'm not going to let nothing take me out of that purpose. Because I've come too far and stand my ground to know that I have purpose, even in the midst of my adversity and pain that I am experiencing. Even to this day, nobody knows for real. People look at me just like people in my family, like, oh, she the strong one. Oh, she the hard work one. She'll get through it. Yeah, you know why? By the grace and mercy of the Most High God, Mother and Father, who has never abandoned me, who has never let me down, even when I didn't know, even when I wasn't as consciously as aware as I am. And this is why I do it, because greater He is really in me. This is divine speaking and pouring through me so I can be able to do the same for others. Y'all got to understand and wake up to the know that the times that we are really in right now. But yeah, today is my first heavenly child's 18th birthday. And it's just really like, wow. I'm really just like, I'm laughing now, y'all, but the tears is there. When you become to be, put this armor on you and, mask and hide your real truths and pain, which is something that I've never really been able to do. I very much care deeply about a lot of things. Sometimes even to the point where it's like I gotta learn to stop caring so much, because some things I don't need to care so much about. But that's just my heart posture for real. It ain't for social media. I don't really care about the likes. I care about souls. I care about people really coming to their awakening so they can know who they really are internally, instead of always seeking that outside validation. And of course, yeah, that's normal. We gonna want some type of something to validate us, but guarantee validate yourself. This is why I want to speak more to the youth, to tap in with them before these powers that were are trying to just create more of this generational cycle bullish. That's why I say it stops with me. Seriously. But yes, this is my firstborn, y'all. My very firstborn. So people could say whatever they want to say about me. You don't know me for real. You don't know what I really been through. That's why you need to go get the book. So you could see for yourself. You could read for yourself and be encouraged and be inspired and know like your journey that you're going through, you can make it through too. Man, I'm so grateful that I was able to do this. And I really genuinely feel like this is only part one. Cause there's so much deep depth. This is just the surface level of it. If you really want to know and you really want to get tapped in, make sure you follow me on all my platforms. The Frequency Holder on TikTok, 777. The Frequency Holder on Instagram. RTC Her Legacy. Respect the Chocolate on here. Respect the Chocolate on YouTube. Like, I really share the knowledge that the creator gives me as it comes through me and as I be able to deep dive and heal it and go through it. But this is important, yo. This will change lives. Seriously. And I really been on live for a little bit over 30 minutes. I ain't even looking at that. I'm just looking at the fact that I'm present. I'm grateful if you done tapped in with me on my YouTube live. I'm grateful if you come across this video on my Substack. I am filled with gratitude, love, and light for real. Even while I'm walking through the darkness right now. And you know what I'm gonna say too? Cause it's just a lot of dark. Just y'all coming to the awakenings of what's really been going on in this earth. You know? But I'ma always use the dark to work for the light. Period. And if y'all wanna quote me or whatever on that, so be it. But I'm so sincere about that. Yes, darkness does have purpose. But how I choose to use that darkness, oh yeah, I'm gonna make it work for the light every time. As dark as I am, I'm gonna shine my light so bright that the dark can continue to be intimidated. That everything that it try to send up against me in minds get beneath me. I know that I am divinely guided. I know that I am loved and protected. And even though it took me a while to really integrate that for myself, it's here now. That's why I post what I post, because y'all don't even know, like, I've been getting a lot of stuff trying to come up against me just because I know I got great messages that's coming through the divine to speak to me, to speak to y'all. But they don't want that to happen. And you could call it however you want to call it. But if you know, you know. You know? I never thought that I would be able to do this or even share any of this. I have a smile on my face right now because I'm proud of myself. I done even witnessed family members go through the same similar thing as I have. And it just really lets me know, like, this world, it's always been kind of set up to keep people in devastation, humiliation, cycles, defeat, lack mentality. And that's why I decree and I declare on all y'all behalf, so be it. Through my own free will, y'all covered. Straight like that. You know? But I think I'm about to get ready to tap off, y'all. See? Baby's first haircut. Like this is deep. And once again, that's why I encourage you, go get the book Becoming Ebony, out on Amazon right now. You know, even go support somebody else who you feel and know could benefit from this. There's so many nuggets of divinity in here. And like I said, that ain't just it. That's just the surface level. I'm already here getting the next series out, cause that's how God is working through me right now. But I'm so honored that I get to speak my truth, which is healing. And I'm so honored that I get to help humanity while I do so. You know, I always knew things were bigger than me, but it is me. Me too. You know, my messengers, my boys, they right here. Right here. I'm grateful to be strong. I'm grateful for the path that I've been down. I'm grateful for the path that I'm on now. I have no regrets. But I also know that I know one day I'll see them again. I don't know how or exactly when, but I know that I will see them both again. And I know they proud of me. They shine they lights and orbs down on me every day to keep me encouraged and keep me uplifted. Letting me know, like, mommy, keep going. Keep going. So, yeah, these tears is me releasing. And knowing that I fought long and hard to continue to keep fighting a good fight. Not just for myself, but for my lineage, for those before me and those after me. You know, I do still desire to have children, but I also know there was a lot of things that needed to be cleared. So yeah, there was no roadmap. It was me really walking by faith and not by sight, and knowing that this had purpose behind it. I didn't just lose 2 children, 2 boys, 2 masculine energies for me to just allow it to be swept under the rug. And I'm not. When my son went on, I always talked to them, as I still do. I wrote letters, everything, man. Like, it's just really, really encouraging me to know, like, you've been really hanging in there for a long time, Ebony. So no matter what anything or anybody try to throw at you and throw your way, you good. You're more than good. You're great. And that's because you choose to be great. You choose to be the generational choice maker. Not like those before you, you know, who just allow certain things to happen because that's the only thing that they knew. Y'all don't even know the deep depths of my heart, man. My heart goes out to all, even those that don't have that conscious awareness or that understanding. You know, like what they say, Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. It's real. I'm going to leave y'all with a message. Great Spirit, even with these times that we are experiencing, it's so vital right now to protect your peace, protect your energy. Make sure you loving on yourself more. Make sure you making time to just be in the presence, in the now. I'm telling you, it makes a whole lot difference. Trust your inner knowing. Even if you need help and support with developing that, like, God has really geared me up to be the spiritual warrior that I am today. And I'm just a vessel, yo. I'm recreating my whole life right now. You know? And I have no idea what that looks like, but I am the divine, I am the creator of that reality. Not nobody else. And that's the beauty of that struggle. So yeah, trust your inner knowing and access that knowledge that lies within you. Because it's there. Doubt those doubts. Doubt those fears. And believe in yourself. I know that I am in this lifetime around. I thank you all for tapping in with me on this late night session. This is very transparent. It was very much given what it needed to be given. You know, I have a lot of passion for real, so excuse me if you think it's a little spicy or whatever, but it's nothing but unconditional love this way. And I'm going to tap off now, and I hope you all have a beautiful, peaceful night. Be sure to get the book. I really appreciate the support. And I'll tap in with y'all again soon. Peace.